The offense told half a story, while the defense was decimated both on and off the field. Will the bye week allow the Packers to recover? We preview the Giants next on your Packers Fan Podcast.
Hey Packers fans, this is your unofficial Packers Fan Podcast, and these are the podcasters you're looking for. One of these guys, even though he's a huge fan of the Packers, he doesn't like bratwursts and wonders if that's wrong. And the other guy bangs the drum all day and thinks, touchdown. And now it's time to Go Pack Go with your hosts, Wayne Henderson and Troy Heinritz.
Back from the bye week and ready to rock another edition of your Packers Fan Podcast. It's the show by and for fans of your 13-time NFL champion Green Bay Packers. Give us a call. Keep this number handy at all times. Area code 920-3PACK-GO. That's 920-3PACK-GO. You can call it 24/7. If a Packers thought comes to you at 3 in the morning, call it. Go straight to voicemail. Or simply visit PackersFanPodcast.com/feedback. Either way, be part of the show. Let your voice be heard as we do on this episode 113 of your Packers Fan Podcast, recorded October 2nd, 2016. Check out the show notes for all the intel and analysis. That's at PackersFanPodcast.com/113.
We figured since there wasn't a game on today, we just recorded today. Makes sense.
And a lot more fun while we wait patiently for the Packers to come back.
So this is like your Packer game right here, people.
For your Monday morning commute or gym workouts, lawn mowing, however it is you listen to the show.
Absolutely. Well, on this episode, we will recap the victory over the Lions and find out, did the Packers take advantage of a loophole in the rule book? Also, why can't our Packers seem to keep their foot on that gas pedal, or throat to choke, if you will?
Ooh, yeah. We also share some fun new listener feedback with you. We discuss the latest plans for the Titletown District in Green Bay, wrap up with our wild guesses of the final score of what we think is going to happen in the Giants at Packers matchup coming in less than a week by the time you hear this episode. Me, I'm at Wayne Henderson on Twitter, your voice acting, podcasting part owner of the Green Bay Packers.
And I am at Troy Heinritz on Twitter, also part owner of our Green Bay Packers. And I eat my words from preseason. I'm super glad the bye week is really early now.
I know. It's one of those things where we cursed it at the beginning, but in hindsight, it's 2020 and came at just the right time, I think.
That it did indeed. Just a reminder that the Packers Fan Podcast is available on demand and on the go with our free Packers Fan Podcast apps for both iOS and Android. It's presented by theticketking.com. Remember, you're not sold out until the king is sold out. Get Packers tickets at the best prices by visiting PackersFanPodcast.com/tickets for all the details.
Excellent. Now let's dig into a few of the highlights from the game. Seems like it was forever ago, but another victory, and Troy, much like the TV show Lost, we have to go back.
Yes. No back shoulder throws that were happening, but we went back to Jordy Nelson twice. Yes, that's right. My fantasy team rocks.
I bet that really did help out, and I just enjoyed watching it. They're getting back into the groove. It was so frustrating that lost to the Vikings as if it never happened, but now things are really starting to get into a groove. Great to see Jordy, and great to see Eddie Lacy running wild. Man, that long run he had was just a thing of beauty, and I was just glad, like I've mentioned before, that I'm not out there on the other team trying to tackle this guy.
More importantly, when we needed two pivotal first downs in that fourth quarter, Rodgers gets one, Lacy gets the other one. I'm glad to see that our running game is back where it needs to be.
And that makes things better for everybody. Stopping the run and making great runs of our own. I love it. It's going to be so great as we get a little bit better every week. Now, how about, we were very confused about the whole punting situation. Let Mastay go, bring in that other guy. We wanted him, let him go. We bring in Jacob Schum. But I tell you what, on that one almost muffed punt because the ball was hiked way over his head, Jacob's quick thinking, jumping up and somehow being able to reach that ball, bring it down and kick it before disaster happened, just gave me heart failure, but I was so happy to see that it ended well.
Yeah, I didn't see what his vertical was, but his vertical is pretty good. That ball was, that thing went sailing.
Because a lot of times that just flies over the punter's head, and that would have been disastrous. I mean, that very well could have been a touchdown for the Lions, and who knows what we would be talking about this week.
Absolutely. I'm just glad to see that the offense is clicking well enough to score every 5 minutes, because that's kind of the clock in my head. If we score every 5 minutes, then it's going to be a win for sure. And we were able to do just that in that first half.
And one way that we kind of really helped get some great field position was that really odd play. Some people said the Packers are cheating. Other people are saying that we just found a loophole in the NFL rule book and it's going to be gone next season. But what do you think about that crazy play? How did that break down? And are you sure it wasn't just an accident?
Yeah, we absolutely found a loophole in the rule book. It's called playing by the rules.
Oh, I can see why other teams would be frustrated when we do things like that.
You mean like the Patriots who don't? Oh, wait, did that come out?
Snap.
What? Never. No, it's a known fact that if the kicker kicks the ball out of bounds during a kickoff, it's a 40 penalty that gives the team the ball on the 40-yard line. What most people don't know is that even if a kicker doesn't kick the ball out of bounds, it can still be a penalty of kicking the ball out of bounds if the player themselves is out of bounds when they touch the ball, in which case Ty Montgomery was. Now, this doesn't come up very often because the kickers are told, don't kick it out of bounds, so they never kick it close enough to the sideline for this to actually come into play,
right?
Where you could physically reach over enough and actually grab the ball while still being out of bounds. So heads up, Ty Montgomery, that is super, super smart. And this is why, kids, just because you're playing the NFL, you need to stay in school like Ty did, because brains will actually help you in the NFL too.
It was very quick thinking. It was just amazing to watch because for a half a second, I was thinking, what on earth is he trying to do? And then as the announcer started explaining it and we're getting great field position for a change, it was just crazy.
But the best part about it was that exact exchange and getting the ball on the 40 led to 7 points. That's even more impressive because of that.
I love it. So the first half of the game was practically
awesome.
All golden. The second half had a few moments, but what were we doing? Were we playing quote unquote prevent defense for the entire second half of the game?
You're implying that we played defense at all in the second half, my friend.
Well, okay. I'm always trying to look on the sunny side of things, Troy.
You did see the numbers for this game, right? I just want to confirm.
I didn't see the exact numbers. I watched the game, I witnessed the event, and I heard the announcers calling the game. All I know is at the very end, when time ran out, we still had more points than the Lions.
But here's the thing. 418 yards of total offense. That is what the Detroit Lions put up against our defense. Now, the running defense, no problem. Front seven, doing a great job. Backside, the cornerbacks, the safeties, not so good there, especially when that one guy fell down who was basically the backup of the backup of the backup because everybody's hurt in the secondary, it seems. And then Demarius Randall got burned again. Luckily, he got the interception on the next ensuing plays, but I don't know what's up with Demarius. That's like 2 now. He's like really miffed bad on in 2 games.
I do not have an answer for that one, but you did bring up an interesting point that possibly the reason that it seemed like there was almost no defense way in the back was the injuries that have been just plaguing us. And that's why I'm hoping this bye week will get everybody back healthy again, like we hope for every year when we get the bye week.
And it's just funny how we're all sitting here talking about the fact that we are up 31-3. Rodgers has like a quarterback rating of 129, and we're still complaining because at the end of the day, we still only had 24 minutes, almost 25 minutes time of possession, where Detroit had 35 minutes of time of possession, and that's how they were able to get back into this ball game. And why we actually made a joke. I was sitting with a bunch of friends at a pizza place watching the first half, and they were like, oh, what are you going to do this afternoon since you don't have to finish watching the game? And then Wayne texts me, turn on your TV. Heart attack time is a-coming. Like,
keep the medication handy. I know. We didn't think we would need heart attack medication during this game at all.
So we haven't lost. I think there's like a stat somewhere that says we have not lost a game ever since being up by like, I think it was 28 or 29 points. But at the same time, this is within 1 score. So I don't understand why we just can't step on the throats like the Patriots do sometimes. Now, I'm not saying run up the score, but we need to control the clock. If we are up by 30 points, there is no reason a Detroit offense should even be on the field, right? If we are able to put up that many points that quickly, then we should have no problem grinding it, running it, doing the things that an NFC North division team does. And we weren't able to do that in the second half. So I hope that's something that will get straightened out here in the bye week. And then we'll put kind of the whole game plan together when we come back against the Giants, because I'm going to be there.
That's the rumor I've heard. Oh, It's out now.
Darn it. Yes. If you are going to the game on Sunday night against the Giants, come find me. I'll be sitting, I think I'm in 120. Sounds about right. 120 row 45. But I will tweet it out. I'll just follow us on Twitter at Packers Fan Pod. Follow us on the Facebook page, PackersFanPodcast.com/Facebook. So just check out those places. I will post pics, let you know where I'm sitting. So if you are listening to the show and going to the game, it is a gold package, Milwaukee game. If you're there, definitely come on over and say hi. It'd be great to meet you.
Definitely do that. And also check out the show notes at PackersFanPodcast.com/113, because I'm going to put a link in the show notes, an article that came out from JS Online that made it sound like if we would have, by some chance, lost that game to the Lions, it would have been a historic choke job.
A historic choke job.
At least Packers-wise. I mean, there's a lot of other teams that have pretty historic choke jobs, but
that might be the article I was reading from the Journal Sentinel that said that we've never lost a game when we were out. Yep. In most cases, game over once the Packers have achieved their lofty position when we were up by 25 or more.
I'm glad that streak is still alive, that we have not lost the game being up that far, especially since we needed to start that new tradition of going a couple of decades of never letting the Lions win in Green Bay.
True that.
Yeah, because there are a lot more injuries than what I was hoping to see. I mean, Jared Cook, somebody said that they saw him leaving the game on crutches and in a boot. He's got an ankle injury. He's kind of listed as week to week, but I know that your father-in-law went to a day or two after the game. One of the radio stations up there does a live broadcast, and it looked like Jared might be on the road to recovery already, right?
Yeah, that's what it looked like from the video that we got from Superfan John up there in Appleton, Wisconsin. So I think I couldn't imagine he would be back on the field 1 week after that, especially when he got carted off. But stranger things have happened, right? You got a bye week that's 2 weeks to heal. It's possible. Clay Matthews is still out with the ankle, right? He's week to week.
What is the deal with Clay lately?
I have no idea. Well, he is older. Injuries happen, Look at us. We wake up in the morning, get out of bed, and we're like, oh, crap. Can't go to work today. Put me on the bench, coach.
Take a few Advils. You'll be fine.
Sam Shields still doing the concussion protocol. Possible return in week 5. We got Detroit Guyon out. Corey Linsley still on the PUP, coming back week 7. We have a bunch of people, right? Dayton Jones, who was sidelined with a knee. Dimitri Goodson still suspended. Mike Pennell suspended, so they should be back for the Giants game. Does that count, right? Because they can come back week 5, even though they've only played 4 games. That's my
what I was thinking is, even though we've had our bye week, and even though it's game 4 for us, it
is week 5 of the season.
Yeah. So maybe, unless there's some sort of misinformation, we very well may be seeing a lot more of these guys coming back. And I would love to see Sam Shields back out on the field.
And we also had Morgan Burnett, right? Still sidelined with a groin injury. So we'll see what happens there.
And so many of those are on defense. That is frustrating. Get well, guys. Get well. And according to something I saw from Packers.com just the other day, they said that Kyler Fackrell has been really stepping up in the face of all these injuries at linebacker. So that will be a name that we need to get even more familiar with, because Kyler could be on his way now.
Yes, because remember, we have only had that 5 that we kept for the defensive line, and 1 is suspended, 1 still hurt. We had another 1 get hurt, so it looked like we were down to like 2 players on the line. So I'm curious to see what that's going to all shake out after the bye week, and if we're going to see some new faces in that front 7, or if we're going to have everybody back. We'll have to wait and see when the Giants come to town. That's right, we're back at Lambeau, people.
Thank goodness, because I know last year we started off, kind of undefeated, and then after the bye week, things fell apart. Of course, we didn't have Jordy at all last season. But this year, things have been kind of choppy. I'm hoping that with after the bye week that we're just on all cylinders, because it seems like we're getting a little more in rhythm every week. And with the bye week, getting people healthy, a little more practice, I think we should be good to go.
At least I hope we're good to go for that first game, because you know why?
Why, Troy?
I'm going to be there.
Oh, that's right. You're going to be in the stands chanting, "Go Pack, go."
Woo woo.
Oh, I'll be looking for you.
Yeah, I'll try to get on that crane cam that comes by that almost knocked us out and it flew so low over our heads at the Kansas City game last year.
Yeah, because, again, it's another night game, so that very well could happen again, and I know where to look for you.
It's supposed to be cloudy, right? In 2 weeks. It's been raining constantly here in the Chicago area for like the last 3 or 4 days. So I'm really hoping that the fall weather has shifted and changed, but the rain is gone. I don't mind cold, but cold and wet, not so much fun.
Bad combination.
Walmart poncho don't help in those situations.
Was it $4.88 and you could be good to go? Still a little miserable, but you'll be watching the Packers. You'll be at Lambeau. It's going to be great. We're going to be playing Eli Manning and the Giants. We're going to talk about that a bit more coming up in just a little bit on the Packers Fan Podcast. We want to remind you that you can really help support the show, help us to, as they say, take it to the next level by becoming a Patreon financial supporter of the Packers Fan Podcast. Not only will it help us grow the show, bring you more great content each week, but you can get fun rewards as well. Check out all the different levels by visiting PackersFanPodcast.com/support. And as you've heard Troy talk about in the past, there's even a chance for you to go to a game with Troy in that great section at Lambeau Field during the 2017 season. So visit PackersFanPodcast.com/support for all those details. You know, with your support, we'd be able to do more fun things like maybe some live post-game call-in shows now and then. You never know. We've got lots of ideas, and you can help us bring them to reality. Now, since the last episode of the podcast, we did get some listener feedback. I got a great voicemail we're going to share with you. And although it came in before the Lions game, most of the things that he brings up still apply. So here we go from Texas.
First and foremost, it's always a go pack go. My second thought is I was reading up on some items out in there in the sports world, and they said that based on the snap count that approximately 74 to 75% of the snaps since week 6, when Aaron's passer rating has gone way down, they've always been in 3 wide receiver sets and kind of ignoring the run game. And that makes a lot of sense, especially coming off of the game that we just had on Sunday night. It's too vanilla. Mike's just throwing these plays out there, and there's no imagination. If you go back to 2010, that 3 wide receiver set dropped down to below 60%. I'm sorry, it dropped down below 60%. It means that there was personnel packages constantly switching, keeping the defense on their toes. They didn't know what was coming at them. Now they see their wide receiver set. They know what's coming at them. And especially this last week, in the failure of Mike McCarthy, utter failure of Mike McCarthy to utilize the run game with Eddie Lacy, that was absolutely just ridiculous. Like you said on the podcast, at over 4 yards a carry, what are you thinking? You don't even need someone to sit down with the analytics to see that the run game is working. However, I want to say I do disagree with your 4th down call. You don't always have to take the points. But you don't run it with James Starks. Hello. That was the dumbest play call I've ever seen in my life. Not to mention, if you go back and look at the film, it looks like he made the first down, and the referee actually had 2 or 3 different people spotting at a different spot. They went to commercial break, had all that time to think about it, and Mike McCarthy still lacked the intestinal fortitude to throw the red flag. What's it going to cost you, a timeout at that point in the game for points? Come on. To me, Mike McCarthy's just getting too comfortable in the system. He's running his plays. The team is making their money, and they're going to go to the playoffs. That's how it's going to roll, and so it really doesn't matter. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out of my backside, but that's how I see it from here. Thanks, guys. You're doing a great job. Bye. Oh, yes. Go, Pack, go!
More Texas fans. Hopefully that we're not moving to San Antonio or something. That would be sad, wouldn't it?
I don't think the Packers will be moving there. And we didn't get your name on the call. Please call us again, though. Let us know who you are and exactly where you're listening. It's great to hear from you, and thanks for your kind words. Troy, he brought us some interesting points.
Yeah, and granted, this is more from the Vikings game, which still irks me to this day because we could be 3-0 and the Vikings could be 2-1 instead of the other way around. Now, we haven't seen the games yet today because we're recording this before the games kick off. But the things that'll be really interesting to see is that will Mike McCarthy get a little more aggressive when we're up by 31 points? Because it's fine to sit back on your laurels because you know you haven't lost a game after being up by 25 in the entire history of the franchise. But at the same time, you got to make sure that the time of possession thing is fixed because 31 points is great, but 25 minutes of time of possession doesn't win ball games. You got to be at least north of 30. And so that's what I hope to see coming out of this Giants game when I'm there in the stands.
You and about, 75,000 of your closest friends?
Almost 80,000 now when you count the standing room and the new south end zone and the club seats, and it gets pretty loud there. And
I got my official postcard from the Green Bay Packers a couple of weeks ago letting me know how far I've moved up.
Let me guess. You are now number 38,472.
No, I've actually moved up. I am now 31,000 something on the waiting list for the right to buy tickets. So since
That's a jump of 7,000 for my guess. You're moving up fast.
I think what the Packers should do is maybe add another 60,000 seats.
Yeah, that would be great.
It'll still be sold out, guaranteed.
That's what's funny. We could put another 20,000 seats in that stadium. I don't know how we could do it structurally, but we could add 20,000 seats in the stadium and it would still be sold out.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. We also got an iTunes review from Bartlett for Prez in the USA. It said, really enjoyable. These guys are lighthearted and really fun to listen to. Well, thanks.
I appreciate that. And Bartlett, you've got my vote. Bartlett for Prez.
Anybody's got my vote at this point. In Ted we trust. Let's make Ted president.
We love iTunes reviews. Thank you so much. It does help out the show.
Now, in other news, Green Bay has surrendered 128 yards rushing in its first 3 games. That is the best start by the team since 1933, Wayne.
1933?
33.
Oh, wow.
3-3.
That's some great run stuffing.
And it's the second best effort overall for a 3-game span. In 1945, the Packers allowed 118 yards in closing out the season, 12 to the Yanks, 51 to the Giants, and 55 to the Lions. After 8 games in 2014, the Packers had the worst running defense in the league, 32nd overall. That was just 2 years ago. Today, during the bye week, the Packers today are the number 1 defense against the run, only giving up 42.7 rushing yards per game, which is also almost 30 yards lower than the number 2 team, which is currently Philadelphia before the game starts today.
Those are some unreal stats. How on earth did we turn it around that quickly?
We moved Clay back to the outside because remember, in 2014, the run defense was so pitiful. That's when Clay actually moved to the inside position. So now that we moved Clay back to the outside and we bulked up that middle and we got people like Blake Martinez in there and some of the new guys, I think that's what's really helped it out and sparked the team.
Yeah, because when we heard the news last spring that all of a sudden B.J. Raji decided to retire, let me just say...
We were scared.
Yeah, it's like that is our run stuffer. But now we got Kenny Clark and all these other guys we're mixing in. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think we're playing smarter, and I think we're playing better together as a unit. Instead of people individually thinking about sacks, they're worrying about the gaps, they're covering up the pass lanes and the rushing lanes, and they're doing everything they're supposed to do from a fundamental perspective. Unfortunately, the secondary still needs a little bit of help. We can't seem to get both of the sides of the ball to work together at the same time. So we will see when we play against the Giants how that breaks down.
That's going to tell us a lot.
Something else that came out, Mark Murphy presented to the entire group some new renderings of the brand new Titletown district. And I was actually pretty impressed with the video that got shown to everybody, which you can see up at PackersFanPodcast.com/113. We'll put a link to the video in the show notes to make it easy to access. What did you think of what you saw from the video?
You may think I'm a Packers fanboy, But watching that, especially here in Southern California, I got goosebumps because I cannot wait to go to Green Bay when the Titletown District is completed and go back there again and see how different it is. And the animation's really good. It made me want to be there when it's sunny. It made me want to be there when it's snowing and icy cold. It just looks fantastic. This just looks like it's going to be more of a destination because, of course, we have the great Lambeau Field. It's in the middle of mostly homes. There's some business around there and a couple of hotels, but it looks like this is really going to make it a place to go any time of the year. What did you think?
I thought the same thing. I said, you know what? I put my house on the market and I'm going to go move into the residential area as part of the Titletown District because that's how cool it is. I actually want to live there.
Now that's saying something.
Well, and the best part about it was the fact that it is going to be an all year round adventure, right? You have the Titletown Brewery is going to be there, and you have the Kohler Hotel is going to be there. You have an office park, and you have some commercial area, this nice giant promenade, a cool playground for the kids. But what I thought was awesome was the infinity loop for the skating rink.
Yes.
That's going to be there. So I don't know if that's going to be a rollerblading option during the summer months, or the fact that it'll be an ice skating rink with a warming shack. And then they have this cool kind of ramp that you can kind of go up and stand up on top of the ramp during the summer. But then when it's wintertime, it's going to literally be a tube run, which I thought was fantastic. That way people can literally come down, experience Titletown District all year round, have fun in the shadow of Lambeau Field. It's just glorious, Wayne. Glorious.
And it's got a distinct green and gold theme to it.
That it does.
Coincidence?
I think not.
It's going to be beautiful, and we'll put a link to that in the show notes as well at PackersFanPodcast.com/113. And although, we didn't have the game, we had a bye-week edition of our weekly Twitter poll posted out there. What do you hope will be the best outcome for the Packers from this early bye week? And 78% of the respondents that voted said get players healthy. It was kind of an obvious choice, but we love multiple choice. So also another option was shore up the defense during the bye week. 13% of the folks voted for that, and 9% voted to get the offense even more in sync.
I think the defense is an issue, right? The secondary is a problem, but I think most of that problem in the secondary does come from the injuries, right? Morgan Burnett with the hammy and the groin. You got Sam Shields who's out with a concussion. So once we get some of those guys back in the rotation, I think the secondary will find its way and get back to normal. So, yeah, absolutely. Get everybody healthy because right now the defense is looking a little thin with the injuries coming out of the Lions game.
Yes, I'm very happy that we are 2-1, but imagine where we can be when we get these people back into shape. What's happening around the rest of the NFC North right now, Troy?
Well, we don't care about the Lions at all because something's missing there. I can't put a finger on it. Golden Tate's production is completely down. The Bears, wow. Just wow.
I believe the Bears are 0-3.
I believe you are correct, sir.
And I don't see a light at the end of that tunnel. I really don't.
I think the biggest game of the week for us as far as Packers fans goes is going to be the Monday night game, correct? That's Vikings versus the Giants. So
yes.
We could be having some interesting conversations when the Giants finally come to us, because if the Giants could knock off the Vikings, then we'll be playing for first place.
Exactly. It's going to be kind of tricky because this week we have to root for the Giants. Next week, obviously, back to rooting for the Packers. But Giants, you get our vote. 1 week only. This week. Make it happen.
Now, the Giants themselves are not somebody that is a formidable opponent when you look at what they're coming stacked with.
True.
When you talk about going against the Vikings, right? The Vikings should be able to handle the Giants fairly easily, as should we. The game will be in Lambeau Sunday, October 9th. It's a night game, so another NBC contest. Let's hope that Aaron doesn't stink it up like he did last time. So a little bit of clouds. Shouldn't be any rain. Again, we're not going to have any rain. No rain at all. Please pray for no rain.
Because
I'm gonna be there.
I was gonna say I've heard that you were gonna be there, and I know the weather forecast with it being a whole week out. So many things change. Yeah. I mean, the tundra could be frozen by next week. You never know.
Absolutely could be frozen by next week. It's late enough yet early enough that one cannot predict these things in October in northern Wisconsin. But with the Giants, it's really two people that you have to think about, right? Number one, you got to shut down Manning. This is key because the Giants are better passers than they are runners. And with us not having the greatest secondary right now, I think that's going to be a little interesting to see what Manning's able to do. So key to the game number one is going to be the front seven. Put pressure on Manning. Get in there in those passing lanes, disrupt his motion, get at him and sack him, because we're going to probably need a pick six in this one to make sure we win the contest. Key number two is then to take away Manning's only option from a receiving standpoint, and that is one Odell Beckham, right? He's still on fire, making a name for himself. He's the one and only playmaker on the team. So if we can shut down Odell Beckham, maybe put two guys on him the whole game, and let's see what we can do the rest of the way. That's what we need to do. So if we can take away that option from Manning, that means Manning holds on the ball a little bit longer, which allows, of course, the defense to get in there for that sack that we so desperately need.
And with Odell Beckham, I don't know if you saw it last week. I forget who they were playing, but Odell Beckham had a meltdown, a temper tantrum on the sidelines. It was a disaster. So if we take your advice and put two men on him the entire game, we could very well lead to him just flipping out or losing his focus. So there's something in Odell's head these days. I don't know what it is, but we can take advantage of that.
Yes. And it's not soup. The Packers defense needs to continue stopping the run and making the Giants one-dimensional through the air, because that will definitely open up our chance for a pick six or two.
Yes.
And time of possession needs to be north of 30 minutes for this game. We saw some flashes of brilliance against the Lions, but they need to do the same with longer, sustained drives. If they can get up by 30 points, that'd be great, because I'm going to be there. But then once you're up by 30 points, control the clock methodically. Second half, run the ball, get the first down. Do not let the other team on the field for 4 scores. That's a speech, not a score, right? 4 scores 7 years ago. It happened a long time ago. It does not happen in the field on home turf.
Yes, maybe for Abe Lincoln, 4 scores. Packers, Giants, no.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
You know, you should probably try to find a way to get tickets so you can be there.
That would be a nice thing. I can go to theticketking.com. Oh, wait, I already have tickets, but you should go to theticketking.com and grab tickets so you can come see me in person.
It's going to be awesome. Everybody look for Troy Heinrichs at the game. I assume you're going to try to get there a little bit early, get comfortable, get some snacks and this, that, and the other.
Definitely need to get there early to get my Wisconsin Johnsonville brat.
I've heard good things about those. And with the game being about a week away, the Packers don't have the dope sheet out just yet, but once it does come out, it'll be linked in the show notes at PackersFanPodcast.com/113. Basically, like we talked about, the Giants are 2-1 as of this morning, but they play the Vikings in Minnesota on Monday Night Football, October 3rd. So the Giants could be 3-1 if we're lucky. So go Giants in that game. But then, of course, go Packers on Sunday night, October 9th.
Yes, because if they do win and beat the Vikings, then that'll be a 3-1, and then we win, and that makes us ahead of the Giants. So that puts us hopefully in the driver's seat the rest of the way when we go undefeated for the rest of the season.
Ooh, I like the sound of this. I'm loving it.
Because remember, the Vikings game was one of my losses that I had. I had 14-2.
Yeah.
So we might lose another one, but
you were far more level-headed and open-minded when you made your season predictions this year. Whereas my undefeated season dreams are already gone, but I guess the pressure's off. So,
right. That means we can just win the rest of the way, because it's, we just need to play for home field advantage now instead of perfection.
That is correct. A single-minded focus. Now, last week we both did pick the Packers to beat the Lions, but there's no way we could have predicted not only the final score that did happen, but also how it happened.
Oh, I know, right? The we both had Packers 23, much more points than that, which is very helpful. And the Lions scored quite a bit more too. So hopefully you took the over, because Vegas totally underestimated that one.
Everybody did. And since I thought the Packers were going to win by 13 and you thought they were going to win by 6, that means you win and you go first this particular week. How do you think the Packers are going to fare against the New York Giants? Because you're going to be there.
I've heard that. I don't have a line for this game, so I am picking strictly on what I would like to see happen, and that, of course, is win by at least 10 points, preferably 11. That way it has to be a 2-point conversion or some kind of miracle. So I'm going with Packers 28, Giants 17.
Packers 28, Giants 17. I like that, Troy. I like that. I think that after this bye week, yes.
Respectable. I think that's a respectable score.
It's a respectable prediction as well. But I think after the bye week, the Packers are going to be on fire. We're going to be in a groove. The Giants, after a short week and then coming up to Lambeau Field, it's not going to be pretty for the Giants. I think the Packers are going to win 31-9. I think it's going to be a blowout that you're going to be there to watch.
I would like that too. That would be fun. Last couple games we've been to, right? The Kansas City game, the Bears game, all of them have been like 42 to something. So that's a game that I'd love to see again.
Bring it on. That's the one kind of repeat you're all up for.
Plus, it's a Milwaukee game, and we have to drive back to Milwaukee, and it's going to be super, super late. So if we can be like 42-10 by the third quarter, then I could leave early. Not that I would ever leave early from a Packer game, just saying. But
it would just be a thought.
This one time,
the next day.
This one time, we did actually. It was like 42-10 or something, and we did leave the game, and we made it all the way back to Appleton in time to watch the 2-minute warning to the rest of the end of the game.
Whoa!
From the bar, so that was pretty good.
That's unbelievable. I don't think you could do that here in Southern California.
Got to get out ahead of the traffic. I'm telling you.
No matter how much traffic you beat getting out of LA or anything, it ain't gonna happen.
And we should make a mention because it is a Milwaukee game, and if you are in the Milwaukee area or have gold package tickets and are planning on going to the game, 41 is still under construction. So, plan to leave a little bit early and get up there because, again, it's a night game, which means that the stadium itself is open ahead of time. So if you're interested in checking out the Packers Hall of Fame, going around just hanging out the atrium, eating at 1919 restaurant, you can do all of that before 3 o'clock. As of 3 o'clock, once you're in the stadium, you are in the stadium for good. So, but yeah, I think doors will open up at 11 o'clock on Sunday to experience everything Lambeau Field before the game begins on Sunday night.
And of course, the NFL has the clear bag policy league-wide now. So, ladies, if you bring a purse, it has to be in a clear baggie pretty much to have everything open and security first. And let me say, when we went to that 1919, was it Bar and Tap, that new restaurant at Lambeau Field, that was fantastic.
Oh my gosh, 2-hour wait, well worth it.
Yeah, the 2-hour wait, not fantastic. My wife had a bad foot that day. Wasn't feeling the best, but the food, the service, the beer, the cheese curds. Oh, it was all fantastic.
I can't wait. What is it? What do I got to wait 7 more days? It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Love it.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this week. The Unofficial Packers Fan Podcast is now over and still not affiliated with the NFL or the Green Bay Packers. However, we'd love to be, so if you know anybody that can make that happen, have them shoot us an email at media@PackersFanPodcast.com. And don't forget to become one of those Packers Fan Podcast faithful by visiting PackersFanPodcast.com/support. It does take a little bit of funds in order to keep the show running. There's a lot of you out there. We'd love it if you could help support us. So please, please, please go over to PackersFanPodcast.com/support. Help us keep the lights on. That'd be fantastic. And it'll make the podcast even better. Like Wayne said, maybe post-game call-in shows. That would be kind of fun.
But on the free side, you can take the Packers Fan Podcast on the go with you at no charge with our free iOS and Android apps presented by theticketking.com. Get the Packers Fan Podcast app for iOS and Android, totally free. And don't get sold out of your next Packers game. Visit PackersFanPodcast.com/tickets for all the details. And like Troy said, follow us on Twitter at PackersFanPod. We'll be posting things there, and I'm sure with Troy going to the game, he's going to have some special things to post out there.
Absolutely, I will. Don't be sure to follow us on Twitter. Both me, I'm at Troy Heinrichs. He's at Wayne Henderson. Also like us on the Facebook. Just go on over to PackersFanPodcast.com/Facebook to join the community and see my pictures from the game.
Oh, yes. Are you going to maybe do a little live video before the game?
I could do live video from Facebook. I didn't get to do that last year. I had to use Periscope instead. But yeah, absolutely. Live video from Facebook on Packers Fan Podcast Facebook page, PackersFanPodcast.com/Facebook. We will definitely show you at the stadium and all the fun up there.
Remember, PackersFanPodcast.com/feedback to get your thoughts in and let your voice be heard. Keep the conversations going online as we'll be back for another fun episode of Packers Talk next time. Thanks for listening to this one. It's the Packers Fan Podcast.
You betcha. Be sure to subscribe in iTunes and leave us a review if you're loving the show this season. It really helps support the podcast. Now, cheer along with me. I'll be in the seats. You might be at home. If you want, come see me. I'd love to be there because then we can all stand up together in a 1, 2, 3 and shout real loudly, "Go Pack, go!"